Okay, hello, let's see how this goes. So in this video I want to look at setting up a sort of minimal C++ project, OpenGL, in Linux. There's a number of reasons we would want to do this. First of all, the minimalism is nice. It's good to have some of that bloat out of the way, control a lot more things ourselves. Secondly, not having a fully featured interactive IDE means that more pressure is on us to look up documentation and the like, and it improves our skills and our memory. And the third reason, which should eclipse the other two, of course, is Vim supremacy. So the first thing we're going to need to do before we really get into our project is install some dependencies. Let's change directory. Actually, if I just list storage right now, we see we have a bunch of things. Let's change directory into dev. And I've got this dependencies directory set up. So we'll pop in there. And the first dependency I want to install is GLAD. So we will just set up our internet connection. Okay, and pull this from the GitHub. Okay, so now we can see we have the GLAD folder there. Let's change into that. And we need to build this with CMake. So if we don't have CMake, then it's as simple as sudo, I think it's apt-get install CMake. Of course, I already have it, so that's fine. Let's get on and build this. So we tell CMake that we want to build this current directory. Dot is the current directory. Okay, it runs a bunch of checks. If there's any libraries that it needs, then it sort of tells us about that. Then we just run the make command. Okay, so if we list storage right now, there are two really useful folders. One is include. There we have GLAD and KHR. And in there we have our header. And the other one is the source folder. So we pop in there, we have glad.c, that's our source file which was compiled for us. That is what we'll need. So what we could do is we could grab this GLAD header and stick it into our project, and also grab the glad.c file, stick it into our project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the header and install it in my system so that my system will sort of sniff around for it when I say I want to include it. So just go back, and what I'll do is I will copy, I believe this is append mode, the include folder to my user/local. Okay, so it's copied those headers over to my local library. I'll look at that in a second. And I will also grab the glad.c. So I'll go look inside source, grab glad.c, and I will copy that to, let's see, we go one level back, we're in dependencies, go another level back, we're in dev. So let's copy it there. Okay. Now let's move back to dependencies. The next one I want to install is GLFW, my windowing library. Now, I looked around online and people were saying, hey, you should do sudo apt-get install lib glfw3 dev. But this is this is not good. I had mixed results with this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and the issue is that it sort of grabs the source code, the library, and throws it who knows where. It just disappears. So the better option is to actually build it ourselves. So just fire up the internet and just search for download GLFW. Okay, so here we have the GLFWs. There's a whole bunch of these options. I'm going to go with the source package. So we click on source package, we download it from there. I have this pre-downloaded, so if I just go to, come on, just go to my downloads. Here I have the GLFW folder. So I'll copy that and put it over in, where are we? Home, dev, dependencies, put it there. And now let's jump in there and make that. So pop in, just tab to autocomplete. Now, in order to make this, I am going to make a directory called build, and I'm going to change to that directory. Okay, and I'm going to tell CMake to build the parent directory. And again, it'll check what I have on my system, and it might throw a bunch of complaints and say, you need this, no problem. That's just a few Googles away, each of those. From memory, I had to install libxi, I think, Doxygen, and things like that. That's fine. It's just a few things. So now we've got that. We can run the make command, and that builds GLFW. Okay, awesome. And similar to GLAD, I'm going to install this in my system. So I will run make install. And this is the really important part. It tells me here it's put it in user local. So I have user local lib and user local include. So we can check this. We can go here, we have lib and include. So if we look inside lib, we have lib GLFW3. Okay. And inside our user local include, we have headers for all of these things. So that's all good. We are good. Okay, so now let's change back. So we'll change to home, dev, and I made a folder called OpenGL. Oh, but there's something I missed. What was it? It was dev dependencies. Actually, yeah, okay. Okay, so we go into dependencies, and what I want to do is I want to copy glad source file glad.c into one level up OpenGL. Okay, so see here I have a bunch of folders and I have my glad.c. This glad.c must be included. So let's make a new directory called window test, and let's move the glad.c into window test. Okay. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's start coding. So nothing too mind-blowing. In this example, I'm going to use my old, this is back from my old OpenGL with C++ series. So we'll open up Vim and we'll make a new folder called main.cpp. I like blue themes. I think they're underrated. What do you think? What's your favorite color scheme? Let me know. So first, what am I thinking? Okay, so we hit I to enter insert mode. We can type in whatever source code we want, then escape to enter out of that. And then W, we hit exit, escape, goes into command mode, hit a colon, and then the command appears down the bottom. So W is for write, Q is for quit. Run that. Now if we hop back into that, we see that we have the source code. We can hit double D to delete a line, and guess what? That's all the Vim we need to know. So first step is we're going to include our headers. Okay, so see that all of these includes are in angled brackets, which means that the system will sort of look around in our library. In other words, among other things, it will look in user local. So remember, in user local, we had those folders. They were called glad and capital GLFW. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and code the rest of this example up. Okay, so that should be it. Hopefully I haven't made too many mistakes. So again, it's escape to enter command mode, colon, write, quit. Okay, so I want to build this, but all right, so we could simply write G++, which is the name of the C++ compiler under GNU, but it's kind of a nightmare, so we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to make something called a makefile. Now it needs to be called makefile in this way with no file extension. We hit enter to make this, and we go for it. So we're going to define the files which we need to compile, and that will be main.cpp, and we're also going to use glad.c. Then we're going to declare the name of the compiler, which is G++, and we're going to set some flags. For the compiler, I'm just going to put that on all warnings on. That's best practice. And then we'll have the linker. Now for the linker, I'm going to, remember, I don't need anything special for glad, right? I've got my include, and I have declared that as a file which is being compiled, but I do need to include GLFW because the library file is on my file system. So I link to that. I also link to OpenGL and a number of other bits. This LX11 is sort of a windowing control system, I believe. Okay, and finally, well, I'm going to have object name, which is the name of the program that I'm making. So the way this goes is we have the name of the build policy, colon, and then the things that it depends on. So we'll just put in objects. That's the way we evaluate variable names. So in other words, all will depend on compiling main and glad. Now this needs to be a tab, otherwise it won't work. So just check that it's tabbing. There might be a setting that you'll need to change in your vimrc file, but it's tabbing for me. So the command is we invoke the compiler to work on the given objects, provided the given flags, and then this is -O for output, and oops, the object name. So that's declaring what it's going to write it out to. Okay, so fingers crossed, moment of truth, we write quit, and now we run make, and that, oh, what a, no rule to make target. What do you mean no rule to make target? Oh, of course, we don't have, do we? Really? Did I put, I put it in the wrong directory. Okay, no problem. So what we'll do is we'll move main.cpp into window test, and we'll do the same thing with the makefile. I was doing all of that work in the wrong folder. Okay, so now let's change into window tests, list storage, and we have that all together. And now we can run make all, that's a build policy, and it invokes that, and we have some errors. Okay, what do we have? Too few arguments? Oh yeah, of course. Okay, so then we vim into our main.cpp, and of course we should be setting the close mode to true. So I to put in insert mode, set window should close to true. Now let's give that a go. Make all. Nice, that works. Okay, so if we list storage, we can now see we have this green one, test. So the way we execute that is // to be in the current directory, execute test. Nice, that's very cool. So there we have our window, and there we have it. That's how we make things. That's how we do OpenGL in Linux. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, see you again soon. Have a good day. Bye.